And we're live and we're back.
Back and better. Well, better for you. You're young. I'm getting older every time we come back.
You're looking older.
I know. 48 now.
That was good.
Thanks.
Yeah, your favorite duo is back. I was thinking, when was the last time we did, like, when we were doing Johnny and Gene and Mafia Truths and all that? That's got to be like a year and a half, 2 years ago now.
Oh, it's definitely 2 years.
Like, I had you on my show. I had you on my show when you came to the studio.
I'm the one supposed to have the bad memory. I'm the old guy.
Yeah.
What? So where you getting a year and a half from? It's got to be 2 and a half.
Wait, hold on. I know your birthday. Wait, no.
Tell everybody this way they can send. Forget the year. Just give them the date so they can send me gifts.
What is it? It's September 30th?
Yep. It's September 30th.
30th, yeah. See?
I'm a Libra, very even keeled.
Yeah. September 30th,
I'm the scale.
1992. No, you're 19. I actually know this. 67?
68. But you were close.
Wait, so you're turning... No, wait, no.
And you graduated college. I keep telling everybody how smart you are.
32.
This is the reason.
No, you're older than that.
Stop telling everyone.
Anyways, that's your camera.
Where's my camera? That one? All right. This camera's for
this one is a backup, so don't even look at that one. Look at that one.
So I look at that.
Yeah.
All right, so any of you single people are trying to write me, it's 72. Just.
Anyways, no, but I'm personally very excited to be back and doing this in my own studio now. And this first episode, we really wanted to kind of debrief the last couple years. And honestly, for me, go over some of these myths. Like, people think that we had like a falling out, which is hilarious.
No, you just started your own crew.
Yeah,
started your own family.
What do you think my family's name would be?
Yeah, we got to come up with a good name.
It would be like the...
Well, you could be like Maya Lansky. You're a Miami-based guy.
I don't know about that.
You're shooting over there a lot.
I've been...
Well, you're pretty smart. I got to give you that.
I didn't wear any sunscreen last time I was there.
Well, I tell my sons all the time, I says, listen, at least I have one son I know is going to be financially successful. You two bums, you'll leave me in the street, and I got the other guy in jail, so it's not like he's not going to be taking care of me anytime soon.
You got to give me some time, though.
Oh, you got plenty of time. It's me who ain't got the time.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know, but...
Yeah.
But no, it's been...
Well, I guess for the people, I'll explain what, so for the people that always ask this, I was traveling a lot doing my films and movies. And actually, Klaus is in Denmark now with Peter, the director and producer and all that. And they're at the awards night in Denmark. So they sent me some videos about it. That's a 4-part series we did called The Viking on Klaus's life story and me and Klaus's friends and the Brazil jails and stuff. So they're doing that today, actually.
So that's what happened. So it cleared up.
So you went to college.
Well, I was in college before when we first started.
Yeah, but there was a lot going on with COVID.
Your favorite subject.
My favorite subject that
we're not going to get into.
We're not doing politics.
So
don't shadow ban us. All right. So, no, you were away at school a lot and traveling and doing your thing too, because you travel abroad a lot.
Yeah.
For people don't know.
Well, I think you wanted to be more in Florida.
In Florida, besides Europe.
Besides Europe, I was in school. We've been doing it for a year and a half. And then, you were spending a lot more time there. A couple different people down there that you started doing shows with. And
yeah. And I was in Albania a lot. And despite what everybody thinks, I actually go to Italy, not like most of the other guys. I'm in Italy a lot. So.
And then, I think it was just like a good little gradual. It was too hard to keep doing it, and it's just easier for you to keep doing your show down there. Everybody that follows me knows that I've been doing my show for 4 years nonstop. And then obviously we'll go into some of the life events that led you to be more in Northeast again. And then I built out this place, and so now we're here. Now we have good management, something that we didn't really have before.
Why, you didn't like that guy? Should we say his name? No, we won't say his name. We won't. He was a character.
A character is a nice way to say it.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
We had that event.
We had that,
and the only one that seemed to be making on money on that event was him.
And he was,
Yeah. I thought
So
he had a bad cold. I should know better, right? Because
You
I
shouldn't.
was the
Of
I was
anybody.
the- I did know.
I know.
Remember, I knew.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just,
So we won't go into some of that, but God, that's bad.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then, but we've been. But the funniest part, all this to say, is that we've been as close as ever. Like in
We're
terms
always
of,
out.
we're always together. People always be like, "Oh, like what happened?" Like I'm like, no. Like it's like
Well, we would, Chris. We went. You know, people see us in the city. Though the people that don't know see us out in Brooklyn in the city.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
We were Chris that
Chris
night. That was
DiStefano.
yeah. When we went to his he's blown up actually. Chris,
I know.
we're
This
gonna come at you in another way.
I've been telling I'm supposed to get him on my show. We got to get him on this show. He owes us a show too.
He owes us a
because we went to his house.
And don't forget, we know where you live.
We know where.
And TT's gonna help us.
Oh my God, TT Jerry. If people don't know TT Jerry,
TT's funny.
Oh my God, unbelievable. I love TT.
I love TT too.
So yeah, we'll get Chris on soon, or we'll do a dinner. He's crushing right now.
Yeah, he is.
You know he's doing radio, City Hall.
I seen him everywhere.
He just did Rogan the other day.
Yeah, he did Rogan. I saw him on Rogan.
He was looking like Jeffrey
Rogan
Dahmer.
couldn't keep a straight face when he was talking because he
Oh
was
my
funny.
God. Well,
He
yeah.
was talking about because he was wearing
Yep.
a watch and and the
he
glasses.
was wearing
and-
like the Jeffrey Dahmer glasses.
yeah, and he said that
was
his
looking-
wife said that he's losing too much weight and he's
He
not
looks
sure.
good though.
Yeah, he does. Look
He's in good shape. He's funny as fuck.
yeah, but he's a good guy.
He's a
really.
great guy. So Chris, if you're listening,
And where's Sal at? Sal, we're
Oh.
still looking for you after those shows you did about me. Sal, no,
you're gonna come at him in a different way.
Sal's funny, nice guy too.
We gotta. Oh well, we won't say this on air, but
And for the people that don't know who Sal is,
Sal
he's funny.
Volcano from Impractical Jokers
Yes.
and one.
I told you I did the Comic-Con with those guys back
really?
a while ago with Dean Cain. My good friend, condolences again to my niece Jana's daughter and his wife and everybody. Jason David Frank
Yeah, yeah.
was depressed, lost his life to suicide. And that's a real subject that we talk about all the time.
We'll talk about a lot of different
Health
things that have
issues.
happened in the past couple years. But all of that to say that a lot's been going on, but you and I have just been as close as ever. And now we're, doing the show again and as the oddest couple. The odd couple, oddest couple. I don't know. I think we're going to go with the
We got to
oddest
ask
couple.
everybody to write in, but I like the oddest
I
couple.
like the oddest couple because it really is. And we'll talk about this more. This is what I want to talk about today. But our dynamic is very interesting. I think for outsiders, whenever they ask me, they're like, "What the fuck are you doing next to this guy?" And I'm like, "Look, give me a second to explain," because it's a hard explanation sometimes. They're like,
Pretty easy for me.
but for me, they're like, "Wait, who is this guy?" And I'm like, "All right, look." He did some bad thing, and they're like, "What's his name?" They Google you, like, I'm like, "Ah, fuck." It's a tough one to explain. You start scratching your head, you start coming up with different explanations. But yeah, no, I'm excited because I think people that watched our show before, and we did really well with that when we were doing the show, originally with Gene and.
Hey, but you know what? I don't cut you off. But how many weeks ago were we at dinner?
Oh, with
Yeah, with your friends.
Yeah. 3 weeks.
Was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so I forgot to tell you this. A couple of days afterwards, somebody writes me a DM and says they saw us, but they didn't want to bother us, and
Really?
they wanted to take a picture. And
No way.
And I'm like, you could have came up to us.
For sure.
And they go, no, we weren't about coming up to you. We were scared to come up to the other guy. We heard that he just got strained out.
That was.
Well, actually, the guy did say I felt funny because I didn't know if, he had company and friends. You could tell, obviously, he knew
Yeah.
your friends.
Yeah. No, that was a fun dinner. We were.
Yeah, that was a good time.
With my girlfriend and one of my best friends, and
Yeah, we had a good time that night.
that was
a
while.
Oh, it was funny.
It was funny. Yeah.
And we ran into a character there that she knew.
Yeah, we won't get
that was
into
another.
that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I'm
but-
saying. It was just the world's small.
World is a little too small sometimes. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
But I think we were all happy that you were there for that moment.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah.
And yeah, shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Annie, my girlfriend, the jeweler. Yeah.
She had a really nice piece the other day that she showed me. Actually,
Well, we got to give a quick shout out to For the People Jewelry Company. I got to plug my girl's company real quick. on Instagram at For the People Jewelry Co. Yeah, she does. She's a badass jeweler
Yeah,
in
she
Miami.
is.
She's got a big shop,
Yeah.
3,000 square feet. Got some badass people working
But
for
she
her.
noticed right away when I had the
She know-
Albanian.
well, she'll like we'll be at dinner and she'll like see somebody and like that comes and talks to us and then she'll be able to pick out what
Yeah.
the jewelry is or what line it is or whatever the fuck things that I don't understand. But
Did you have to curse when you said that?
yeah, I just had.
You can tell I've changed. I don't curse like you.
That's crazy. That's actually insane because off air you curse crazy. So, all right, let's talk about the last couple years. The good, the bad, the ugly. Some very good, some very bad. And just, I guess, before we get into some of that, I think where we want to take this show for people listening out there that used to follow us, it was very mob heavy, right? Which was great. I think people love those stories, and we're still going to have a lot of mob stories, obviously. It's your life. But I think what people really liked was our dynamic because we have such different backgrounds, such different lives that we've lived. I'm much younger, and I also didn't grow up the way that you did. I didn't have the life that you did and go to jail. I didn't do a lot of things, but at the same time, I think why people love us is because we get along so well. And, you know, kind of going what I was saying is like we connect in a way that we probably shouldn't on paper, right? And I think that's what makes it interesting. So I think in this next chapter of our show, it'll really be diving into like the philosophy of how two people like us can live in those different lives, especially focused on you as well, in this reformed life from being a once killer, a once hitman, a once, you know, on paper bad person, if you will. So just so you guys understand the direction, we'll probably be doing a lot of different, we're going to try to do some like live call-ins because that worked really well. I remember back in the day, for people who don't remember, we had a Patreon channel. A lot of people would call in, ask questions, but we really want to stay away from some of like the low-level mob shit, that the dumb content that's out these days, as you know.
You know, how do I put this? First off, my family, even my family, you know, they love you. You know that. My family loves you.
I destroyed his family in ping pong, by the way.
Oh, this guy's going to be talking about this forever.
Oh, his sisters.
My sister's got all kinds of instructors now. My sister's trying to get you on my one sister's trying to get you on that pickleball court.
Well, you know what's funny? Can I just say something real quick about your sisters? So for people that don't understand, so I didn't know that side of your family until, and we'll talk about the passing of your daughter, and I met them at the funeral, right after the funeral. And I never met your sisters. The only people I had met was your brother, your two sons. Or no, actually I haven't even met Matt because he's never here.
Yeah, you didn't meet.
I'm very close with Johnny.
Talk to him.
I'm very close with Johnny.
But Matt obviously talked to you, knows you good.
Yep. Yeah, like.
And Jimmy knows you from
Jimmy. We've been on the phone. Yeah,
prison.
like very, very quick call.
And you've seen that video we
and
just
we'll
sent.
we'll put that video that Jimmy sent you. It's a great video. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's a video of Jimmy calling in from jail, and you're able to see him. Whatever. I don't want to get sidetracked, but I want to say something about your family. Is for people that don't understand or don't know your family, like your sisters, both sisters, unbelievable women. And I joke about them about like destroying them in ping pong. But like, I think what's so interesting about your family dynamic is I'm being honest with you, I don't even think I've ever told you this. I never expected your sisters to be the way they are.
Yeah, they're educated and normal.
They're educated, but they're not just educated. Like they're like great women. You know what I'm saying? Like great human beings.
Well, you're gonna have to ask the husbands.
well, the husbands can say a whole.
Call him out. I'm sticking up for you now.
But it's shocking, right? Because knowing your upbringing, you grew up in a tough neighborhood, and knowing your life, obviously, you never would expect they're so normal, and normal, not like normal, like they're like normal, smart, educated, good lives, good families, like the whole thing. So it's like I'll be honest, it was a mind fuck. I didn't expect that. I'll put it that way. Not that I expected you to have like whatever, but I didn't expect like that level of like.
Well, of course you're gonna like Denise because she's a bleeding heart. She's on the left side.
Well, I'm not. You think I'm?
No, I'm joking. She's a school teacher and she does special needs kids.
Yeah.
So she's very good with kids and she's very patient.
They're just kind people.
And, yeah.
They're kind people with great kids. What's your
Denise's
what's your niece's name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie and her husband.
Stephanie was a great. I always brag about it because we were just at my grandson's 6th birthday party, and they were talking about sports. Everybody, right? My daughter's father-in-law and a couple of his friends, really nice people. Nice, you met them too. The family's really nice family, and talking about sports. And my niece Stephanie was a superstar pitcher.
Yeah, I remember
for
she was on
Easton
that.
High School, and she was great. She doesn't like talking about it. She gets embarrassed. She gets shy.
Yeah.
But she was a great ball player.
What do you think it was like for your sisters, who are very normal, to have you as a brother?
Oh my God, they've been through some things because of me. I mean, you got to remember we had raids at my house because of me, from the FBI, from the police.
But were they living with you at the time?
Some of the occasions, on and off, they were, and they lived next door, or so they were there and involved, and they've been questioned by FBI. And my one sister was there when I baseball batted a couple of people, and so yeah, they've seen enough.
Did you have a good relationship with them back in the day?
Yeah, always. And like
even when
family,
they like saw you like do like heinous, violent shit.
Yeah, they've always stuck by me. I mean, listen, like every family, you have your ups and downs, and everybody argues. And
yeah, but that's a different level. Like when they know that you're like killing and doing stuff like that, could be hard. It could be
because everybody kind of denies in their own minds.
Yeah,
they think it's not like I'm going home and telling them that. I mean, over the years since I changed my life, I'm out advocating at events and different things, and I talk to colleges, and I try to help kids off the street, so they know, because I'm very out there now. But before, you didn't talk about it. So if they asked me a question like that, I would just look at them and I wouldn't answer, and they know. So I guess they assumed I was doing some bad things, but
did they understand like the extent at the time of how serious?
I think they don't want to understand.
Like, would you ever talk, like, think about like your prime time with Gotti and all them? Like, did they know you were dealing with Gotti Senior?
Oh yeah. Well, because all the uncles, everybody would come by the house.
Okay.
Even Gotti Senior on occasion would drive by with his brothers or whatever. I had to go somewhere.
But would they ask you questions? Would they be like, "What are you doing with Senior?"
No.
It's like a don't ask, don't tell type thing.
Our neighborhood was just before Gotti Senior was, the Ruggiano family, so they were used to it. When my uncles were involved, and with different people, so they knew that. They just kind of just look the other way, like most people do, I think, when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah. It's interesting because I don't know what I would do if I had a sibling like you. It's a fucking.
Well, I tortured my sisters when they were younger because they'd come, especially my younger sister. So their boyfriends or whoever they were dating, unless it was one of my friends, they were tortured. I think I told you the story. My older sister went out to dinner one night with some guy when we were kids. And he comes upstairs, he's sitting in the TV room with my family.
Did that guy know who you were?
He didn't know at the time.
Poor.
So I walk in the room, and my sister said that he didn't pay the bill, that they split the bill. And she said it, I think, to my cousin. My cousin told my uncle. My uncle told me. And when I walked in the room, the guy was there, and he went to shake my hand. And I said to him, "All right, get out." And he goes, "What?" And I go, "Get the fuck out of the house." I says, "Before you get a beating." And he says, "What are you?" I said, "You cheap bastard. You took my sister out to dinner." I says, "And you split the tab." How old were you? I was young. I don't know, 20. And, I tell everybody this, even now. The guys people need to worry about are the younger guys. That's why young jails, juvenile jails, and other jails are very violent, because they're very aggressive at those ages. They don't think as much. They think they're invincible.
Like you were.
Yeah, we all, young guys think as you get older. So I used to tell guys all the time, when an older guy comes to see you, you can relax.
Yeah.
For the most part. They're not stupid. They don't want to lose their life easily. They don't want to go to prison easily. When you're young, you don't think of any consequences. You just go. So with young guys is where the danger is. And when a lot of young guys write me, and I'm always giving advice, like guys that are on the street and they ask me questions, and I'm like, listen, the first thing, a guy just wrote me the other day, so I'll talk about him. And he says to me, what do you think, John? I want money. I want to take care of my mom. He's actually a good-hearted young guy, 24 years old. And I understood what he was saying, because he wasn't saying I need to have this beautiful car for myself. Yeah, I want to take care of my family and whatever. And I said to him, that's all good what you're saying to me, but just do me a favor. Write back to me a dollar amount that your life's worth. Is it $100,000? Is that worth losing your life? Is it $5 million to lose your life? Get killed, go to jail for 20 years? Do you think your mom wants the $5 million if you're going to jail for life for 30 years? I said, so think about it before you do it. So, and a lot of guys, they write me all the time the same thing. Well, I can make 30,000 in a week or 20,000 in a month, or I could do this if I sell drugs. I says, yeah, but what is that costing you?
Yeah.
It's like when I see guys rob a bank or a candy store, and they're going to get $1,200, and they go in armed, and if they get caught, they're going to do 20 years. So what is that, about 2 cents a day or something they're going to rob for?
Yeah.
Not that you should justify robbing at any extent, but I'm just saying, if you're going to look at things logically.
Yeah, it's that's what I'm kind of excited about redoing the show with you, is like, where you're interesting is the psychology, right? And what you're even talking about right now is the philosophy of what's your life worth and to what price. And if anybody can talk about the price of life, it's you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, most of the mob guys, some of them are my friends, some of them I don't have too much respect for. But, like Michael Francis over the years, I'm going to bring somebody's name up. When my daughter passed away, he was more than a gentleman, constantly talking to me, helping me through. There's certain guys that really, but Michael's a little more intelligent than most guys. Very well-spoken, articulate. He handles himself like a gentleman. And, over the years, people say, oh, he's had disagreements. Everybody has disagreements. Overall, do you respect the guy? Yes, he's a gentleman. So, you're going to have, sometimes you're in a bad mood, sometimes you say something stupid. It's just life. Right? And then you regret saying it. But overall, I mean, and I got to tell you, when people just ask me about him, and I said, man, the guy's a gentleman, but he carries himself different when he's on shows. He's not one-sided in just the nonsense with the mob.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, and even talking about doing the show today as opposed to 3 years ago when there was like stupid internet beefs with Michael and stuff. And people that know me, like Michael, I had Michael on my show. He was nothing but I have a good relationship with him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a couple years, but we've gone back and forth a couple times. I believe when one of his family members was sick, and I wrote him a little message, and he's just he's honestly, like, people can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want about you. They can say whatever about Michael, Sam, any. But genuinely, I can say really, really good guy, especially to me. I try to judge people the way they interact with me. And I think what I like too is that, you guys don't have issues anymore. And because at the end of the day, like him reaching out when your daughter passed, like that for me is, that means, what I mean?
It's everything. And he didn't reach out once. He reached out probably 7 or 8 times. And he related a personal story to me, which I won't repeat. It's his privacy, which helped me also and discuss something with me. So, you got to look at people and say, when the chips are down, who's around for you?
Yeah.
Who's really looking out for you? Who's there? It's like yourself, you're a young guy like my sons. I tell everybody that. I feel like I'm a father to you. And I don't call strangers. I call you sometimes to talk to, or I call one of my sons, obviously. Mm-hmm. And you have those conversations where you guys can understand more at your age than somebody my age because you're living it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been such an interesting past couple years, and we even almost named the show Like Father Unlike Son. And that people already are concerned when I'm doing show with you, and then when I say that you're like a father, anything like that, they're like, what's going on here? But like people, they don't understand the dynamic, and I think that why I have so much love for you and your family is like, it's really organic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
I think especially in those moments, and that's why even when I heard like Michael reached out, or even for me, all of our conversations during that time, is that what I found was so interesting is you've been through so much shit, but nothing compared to that pain, right? And that's something that, when I think about your life, it's like you go through all of that and then this. And I know that you would go to jail 20 years over again.
I'll go to life. You give up your life. Any parent would, not just me. Any normal parent would. Yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to another event, Dee Gillen, the Black Poster Project that I've been involved in anything that she does. I try to go to most of them, and I talk to her, and you try to lean on each other. My friend Jim, that I did the radio show in Philly, we all lost kids, and, those are the people that we talk to. But those events are... there was 2 women just recently at the Capitol talking at hearings about fentanyl And so we're never going to stop because, we lost our children to that. They were murdered by, this is, like I always say, wasn't ODing. It's intentional murder of our kids from, in my opinion, the vast majority of this drug is coming from China and Mexico, and not much is being done about it. They're saying, Attorney General Carlin just said that they don't have the funds to fight it. Well, that to me, it's almost a ludicrous thing to say, knowing we just sent 125 billion to Ukraine, and I feel bad for all those people in Ukraine and Russia. I do. They're regular, everyday citizens. They're not government who are making the choices. But these are our kids here in this country.
Yeah.
And there should be no dollar amount about trying to save their lives.
Yeah.
And this not to continue. So, of course, I'm going to advocate forever about this.
Yeah, it's also just been interesting to see. Interesting is maybe not the right word, but, since it happened in August?
Yeah, August 18th at 8:34 a.m. They pronounced it dead.
And I remember, because I don't think you were public about it for a couple days or a week.
Yeah,
I don't even think I heard about it until I saw something.
Yeah, somebody wrote something somewhere. It wasn't me. I mean, there's people that run these sites and stuff, and sometimes we're on them. And it was, it's Dr. Genti, who Tuskegee, my good friend, obviously like a brother to me. We're always together. Helped me through it. Does a lot of TV shows with me, interviews with me, and he gives a medical perspective on this drug and what's going on in this country. And there's just not enough being done at all. A lot of rhetoric, and rhetoric does nothing, doesn't save lives.
How did your, own, philosophy about life change after that event?
When you get up every morning, right, a normal person, if you're not depressed, and a lot of people are, and that's something that we talk about later on about addressing, but you put your pants on, you're all excited about getting on with the day, to do something successful, do something positive, do something motivating. And when this happens, that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
It's a dead zone in your body, in your heart, in your mind, where you're just getting through the day and you're trying to motivate yourself for a reason to exist, right? And which is my other kids, my grandson, who just turned 6. And you try to find the strength to continue, but it's not the same laughter. It's not the same, feeling. You eat a slice of pizza, you love pizza, but it's every time you bite that pizza, you're thinking, well, my daughter's not here to be able to do that. So no matter what, that void's always going to be there. You don't sleep the same, which I didn't sleep at it. Now you really don't sleep. So it just eats at you day and night. It's never going to go away, because I talk to people like my friend Jimmy. Years went by, or D. Gillen, and years went by, and other people that lost children that talk to me, and it just never goes away. It's terrible.
Does it scare you that it never goes away?
No, I don't want it to not go away.
Right.
I want to feel it. And, as bad as it feels, you don't want to feel it, because you're never going to forget your baby, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just, I have pictures all over my house of my daughter. I have rosary beads with my daughter's picture in my car. I have stuffed animals, because I used to call her Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, on my car in my house. And those are the things that, it's just, and, the only thing I do say to myself is when I'm really down, like last month I was really down, and I say, get up, look in the mirror, and kind of yelling at yourself. Stop acting like you're the only one, because it's happening to hundreds of thousands of parents. So we're all going through it. So it's not just me. When someone says, well, you're muscling through. Yeah, you're muscling through somewhat. And I do it by doing this, awareness to kids.
Yeah. No, it's, even if other people are going through it, it doesn't take away from your pain.
No, you're not the only one in pain. So, people lose their children, and it's just not normal to lose your child before yourself. So.
Yeah. Well, I think, too, the way that you've handled it, and handling, raising her son, who's also so young, and, it's so multi-layered, And I think that I guess if there's any kind of beauty in it, is that, you know, you're there for your grandson, you know, and so are her the grandson's other step of, or other
Oh,
pair
the
of grandparents
great.
are great. And I met them at
Yeah,
the
they're great.
I met them at the restaurant that
They're
one day.
fantastic. I mean, they're dedicating their life to him, and he's with them a lot more than he's with me. And, you know, I got to give them a lot of credit because they're not young. And they really, they just threw a birthday party for him that we were all at, and just good people.
Has your grandson started to fully understand yet, or no? Because I remember.
I guess he relates, obviously, because it's my daughter, so he talks more about my daughter, like with me. I walked him to the lake, and we were feeding the ducks, and he started talking about my daughter. I was giving him a bath the other day, and he starts talking about when his mother gave him a bath.
What do you say to him when he says stuff like that?
I always tell him stories about, you know, when he starts. I encourage him to talk about it so he doesn't forget it, but I don't tell him, then, you know, about so much of the pain of, you know, her passing. I try to tell him that, you know, God's got her.
But he understands.
He understands. Like, we're in the car, he's always asking me, "Can you play the song, Mom? You like the song?"
Okay.
So he's very aware of it.
So like he
he's
uses
always
like
bringing
past
it up.
tense and like
Yes.
Like, okay.
And he's always, "Mommy did this with me. Mommy did that with me. Mommy used to kiss me like that." Yeah, it kills me. But, you know, when we go on the rides, he goes, "Can I go on this color? Because Mommy loved pink. You know, can I use the red stuffed animal? Because I used to ride the red one with Mom." So, you know, that he does. I mean, he's young, and before she passed, she actually told one of her friends, "If anything ever happens to me, tell my father, just make sure the baby never forgets me." So, you know, that's always a driving force of me.
So she said that because she knew. Did she know?
I don't know. She did a lot of painting. I know you've seen them with of space, the moon, stars, the universe. So for some reason, she was painting that the last couple of years, like as if she knew she was exiting of some sort. I mean, it's incredible stories of, you know, I told you where I never seen her TV go on ever up in my attic.
Oh, right. I remember you told me this.
And I was nowhere near the TV it went on. I mean, so, you know, I'm very strong with my faith.
Well, tell that story real quick so people know what we're talking about.
You know, you're suffering through the loss of my daughter, and a couple different things happened. And as a young couple that knows, when I was in Nevada, in Las Vegas, and I was filming a movie, I ran into two people. And I was talking to my sister, very upset that my daughter never got a chance to do this stuff. And a young couple came to sit down next to me, and I gave up my seat for the guy's girl. They were young, like your age, a little older maybe. And we started talking, and one of the waiters asked her for identification. And this is just after I was talking to my sister, so this is like billions to one of odds of this happening. And she said, "Why do I got to give my identification? I'm 30 years old." And I says, "When's your birthday? August 14th? And she said, "Oh my God, how would you know that?" And for the people who don't know this, she was born August 14th, 1992, same as my daughter. So those odds are, you know, incredible. And then I was up in her room a couple of months afterwards cleaning it out, and I was on the other side of the room, and the TV went on. I'm not near the remote. I'm not near the TV. I didn't even know that TV worked up there. I never even heard her watch it up there. So she was always downstairs with me. Yeah. So, I mean, if somebody can explain how that happens, I'm willing to listen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So these are some, and there was some other incidences that happened. I was at Mike's house, and the two lamps went on in the middle of the night while I was talking to her, laying there upset. And first one lamp, then the other lamp went on. I mean, what's the explanation?
Yeah.
So for people that don't believe, then give me an explanation for that.
Yeah, it's the universe works in weird ways sometimes, I think. You know, and I think the way you've handled it, I mean...
Well, somebody told me another story. I'll give you, and this is on a personal somebody else's, so I won't say their name. They just told it to me yesterday, and their husband died a certain day. They went to go buy a car. The person they went to buy coffee, now you can go to a million places. You got a million different salespeople. The person that they were buying the car from's wife passed away the same exact day as her husband passed away.
Crazy.
Now, what is the odds of that? Is that just crazy.
No, I think. Look, I think. I mean,
something's driving
yeah,
people to
people
each other.
can, and everybody has a different stance on religion or spirituality, and I'm curious, how is your religious faith or spirituality manifested since this, or changed?
I always
or
try
more?
to look for God over the years in prison and stuff. I couldn't really find him. I used to tell the priest when I talked to him. He was trying to convince me. Really good priest when I was in MCC. Nice guy, a rough kind of guy. Came from the city down in Rivington where my father grew up, down there in the Bowery, and so he was a guy that you can relate to because he was kind of streetish, and I just couldn't find it. But now, since this happened, I've found a lot of faith, trust in God, and I feel like if I miss church on a Sunday, that I'm cheating. Like it's
Really?
like I feel guilty. So I try not to miss, and if I do miss, I pray every day.
Yeah.
And I pray. A friend of mine, Antoinette and Stephen, they got me an angel urn that I keep my daughter's ashes in. So I pray in front of that a lot, and and they're friends of mine since forever, and people like that help you through what you're going through.
Yeah, I remember that ceremony too was beautiful. That place was beautiful.
Yeah.
I forget exactly where it was. Somewhere in
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah, St. Andrews, and it's where my kids were baptized.
Oh,
and,
really?
Yeah.
What are your conversations like with your kids now about it?
It's rough. I mean, my son's not as open to talk about it as me. They do talk about it, but not as often as I do.
Does Jimmy know?
Yeah, and when I went up to prison to talk to him, and for the people that want to know about pain, there it is. It's easy to get over physical pain. But he lost a sister while he was in prison, didn't get to say goodbye, didn't get to see her, didn't come to the services. And so jail's not just about being locked up and being able to do a couple of years or 10 years or 20 years. It's about that stuff.
Well, it's also like for him, I mean, you can explain it 100 times better, but I imagine it's feeling like life outside is moving and sometimes tragically moving, but your life is just stagnant and you've been in there for years. Like, what's that like when you, especially because you probably remember days when you would be in jail and you heard like somebody passed or whatever it was, close or not close. It must be a weird feeling.
Nick Christopher wrote the book with me, Prison Rules.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was an okay book. I think we could have did a lot better, me and Nick, but whatever. But when I was in jail, I lost my uncle, who was raised in the same house as me. It was kind of father to me. And I moved to California with him, and he died at 50 years old of a major heart attack.
Yeah.
And it was devastating to me, right? So in jail, the mentality is that you want time to go by fast because you want to get out. But also, the time's going by and you don't want it to go by because now you're not a young guy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my son. He went to jail, a young kid.
How old did he when he went in?
And he basically caught his first, where he got jammed up at about 22, 23. He's 33 now, next week.
Jesus.
So he's been in about 7 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He got a short 2-month out. We got him out on a bail, and he went right back in. Wow. And so he's been in that long, and, it started. And it's not going to end for him because he's going to come home and have parole. So, that ain't going to end for him, I think, till he's about 38. So, you're 23 to 38, you're tied up in the system.
Yeah.
You can't make a mistake a little to the left or the right, or you continue to ruin your life. And now you're not a 20-year-old kid anymore because he started off as in his early 20s.
Yeah.
Like basically your age, and then now he's going to be pushing toward 40 when this is ended. So that's how quick life goes. And, when people are giving bad advice to the young kids, there is, the loss of life, and I'm not talking about just by dying, of being incarcerated. It's just not worth it. At the end of the day, I don't know who's telling or trying to sell that bullshit that it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's just not. Your life's not worth your freedom and, enjoying yourself and, laughing, going to comedy shows and seeing guys like Chris, or going to a concert, whatever kind of music you like, or going to get something to eat, or just laying in your own comfortable bed and taking a shower.
Well, I remember when we did an episode a couple years ago, and I remember that I'll always remember this. I think for the rest of my life, you and I walked outside. I think it was springtime. It was a nice day, and I remember. I don't even know why I thought of it, but I was like, you ever think about how nice it is to just be outside, and you're like, oh my God, it's like the best feeling in the world, like being able to take in fresh air and see sun, like. That's all I dreamed about. So like every kind of moment that I'm outside, like I think about that. And that, for me, like I was like, 20 at the time. And I took that for granted, right? I'm like, I'm outside, it's spring. Of course, I've been doing this for 20 years. But like for you, you'd been in jail for damn near 20 years. I mean, total, right?
You got to remember, I talked to Oscar Lugo, who I'm working on his case. I think he's wrongly convicted. There's prison reform bills that are out there. I just went to Harrisburg to speak to senators and congresspeople, legislative in PA. And so I'm speaking about him, and he's in about 21 years. He's in a penitentiary of Cole. Never had his hearings, right? He was, besides, I believe the system abused him, and there's a lot of stuff going on with his case that I'm working on. And he also was a young guy. Now he's 51. His children are having kids, and you need to get him home. No violence ever in his history, not in his case. No violence, no shots while he's in jail. You have him. He's a constant reminder of what happened to my life, right? And then you have Phil Baroni, who I believe is completely in Mexico, charged incredible on a case that I believe he's completely innocent.
Really?
Shouldn't be in him even for a day.
I mean, I've only heard, I don't know, honestly, details. I just heard, I don't know shit about that case. I just heard what the media is putting out, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're going to hear different. And
it sounds horrible. Let's put it that way.
Well, of course. And that's the idea, to make it sound horrible. But I did a short interview on this about it, and I explained the other side of it. But the thing is, forget about the guilt or innocent for now. He's calling me from Mexico. I was in Brazil penitentiaries. I know how dangerous it is from. I know how bad it is from.
Right.
I know the violence, because he's been in, he's already had some serious violent situations already. He had 2 or 3 already. 2 for sure, I think 3 though. And these things of your freedom and living in those conditions like I did in Brazil.
Like just strictly speaking about the jails themselves.
Incredible.
No, I can't even imagine. Yeah, and we've done episode. We'll do more on that.
And people that don't know who he was a famous UFC name.
I think we covered a good amount for episode 1. I think for people listening or watching this, just so you guys know, we'll be posting episodes weekly. On YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, everywhere you get your podcast app. Make sure you follow us on individually at John Alite on Instagram. Make sure if you're watching this, the classic like, comment, subscribe to the videos. We're really trying to, do this again full time. If you're listening to this, make sure you subscribe, do all those review stuff, 5 stars, everything, all that helps. We're going to be posting a lot of clips. That's the difference between this time and last time. It's a different time. There wasn't crazy. It sounds like we're in the golden age, but there wasn't TikTok back then. Now there's TikToks, there's YouTube Shorts, there's Instagram Reels. We're going to be posting a ton of different clips so that you can stay up to date and see different moments from all our episodes, this one included. Follow me on Instagram at felix.levine. So we're going to be coming in hot and very excited to be able to engage with people that have listened to us in the past and people that are new. If you're new, welcome.
If you're new, write us in. I want to know their opinions, though.
Yeah.
What the show could be called, and what do you want to hear from us?
We're thinking Oddest Couple, or The Oddest Couple, or The Odd Couple. I think we're leaning with Oddest Couple because
Father Unlike Son.
Father Unlike Son was definitely on the table. For this episode 1, we'll call it Oddest Couple because we are an odd couple, on paper. But anyways,
your girlfriend says I'm the more normal one. Just
that's
put
crazy.
That on record.
That's
she does. Say
imagine. What's that say about her?
Thank you.
But we'll catch you on the next episode. Thank y'all.
Thanks, everybody.